Good evening, and welcome to Honors at UVM. My name is Jay Chambe, Senior Assistant Director of Admissions, and I'll be your host for tonight's evening. I first want to say congratulations on being admitted to UVM's class of 2025. We have an incredible event planned for you this evening. You'll hear an academic overview about the university's Honors College. You'll be able to engage in a live Q&A with some of our current Honors College students. And then we'll end the event with a question and answer with the Associate Dean of the Honors College. Some quick housekeeping of the event. On the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see the chat function, and this is where you'll be able to post your questions for the Q&A portion of the event. So to kick us off tonight, I'd like to introduce Dr. Ian Grimmer. Dr. Grimmer is a senior lecturer in the history department and associate dean of the Honors College. He received his PhD in modern European intellectual history from the University of Chicago, and his scholarly interests include 20th century Germany, the history of psychoanalysis, and critical social theory. Dr. Grimmer is recipient of UVM's Crutch Maurice Award for Excellence in Teaching, and tonight he's here to provide you with an overview of the Honors College and the academic experiences within. Later in the program, he'll be available for a Q&A to answer questions about the Honors College and the academics here at the University of Vermont. So with no further ado, I'd like to welcome Dr. Ian Grimmer.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the kind introduction. So this evening, I'm going to be presenting you with an overview of the Honors College curriculum. And I wanted to start by talking just a little bit about some of the general characteristics of Honors College courses. In addition to the courses you'll be taking in your home colleges, you'll be taking one class each semester with the Honors College, and this in many ways will form the foundation of your education at UVM. Our courses are small. They're taught by faculty from across the university, including the College of Medicine. And everything is taught using a seminar format. That is to say, you won't be in a large lecture hall. You'll be sitting around a table with a group of students and a professor talking about a series of engaging topics. And I want to emphasize at the beginning that our courses are very well integrated with UVM's general education requirements. As the Dean of the Honors College, Dave Jenneman, likes to say, Honors College requirements are not extra, but rather we offer a very rigorous and engaging path through courses that you would otherwise normally have to take as a student at UVM. And this is important because it means that for many of our students who have very heavily structured majors, it's still possible to follow the entire Honors College curriculum through to the very end. This all begins in the fall semester with a course numbered HCall 85. And these courses meet the foundational writing and information literacy requirements. So that is to say, they're writing-intensive courses. You'll also gain a lot of experience with finding scholarly sources in these courses. They're taught in relation to topics that the faculty have particular interest in, ranging everything from modernism and modernity to engaging the public with scientific communication. In the spring semester of the first year, students then take courses that meet one of UVM's two diversity requirements or the sustainability requirement. Building upon the writing that you do in the fall semester, you also are introduced to some experience with collaborative group work and public speaking. These are things that will be incredibly important to you throughout your academic career and also are certainly transferable skills for students who immediately go on into the job market. Again, there's a variety of topics that students can choose from. D1 courses focus on race relations in the US. D2 courses focus on human diversity more generally. And SU courses are related to sustainability. Some of our courses, such as climate crisis in Latin America, actually meet two general ed requirements, both the diversity, the D2, and the sustainability requirement. We like to think about our sophomore seminars as a bridge to the thesis, the work that you'll be ultimately doing in your last 2 years at UVM. Like the first year courses, these are special topic seminars, but you really, in the sophomore year, get an opportunity to explore research. You'll work, in many cases, on a semester-long project and really gain the confidence to do a much larger writing project going forward. Just to show you some examples of the courses, these courses do also meet gen ed requirements in many cases, and tend to be quite timely, engaged with contemporary problems. The junior year is defined by up to 6 credits of Honors College coursework. These courses are now offered in your home college. The curriculum becomes a little bit more decentralized, but the courses are also characterized by the same kind of academic rigor that you experience in the first 2 years. This really focuses in part on the thesis prep course that you'll be doing, and at the end of the junior year, you'll be presenting a thesis proposal for the work that you'll be doing as a senior. And this culminates in the experience of writing an honors college thesis. And I say writing here because all theses will have some kind of writing component to them, but we also very much encourage students to pursue creative projects, and students have done all kinds of things ranging from creating podcasts to plays. The important part of this, however, is that these are self-designed projects, and it presents students with an opportunity to have really close faculty mentorship, something that's much more characteristic of what you might experience in graduate school. I'm working with a student this semester who's doing a project on the first director of the Museum of Modern Art and a trip he took to the Soviet Union and the way that it changed his vision of the museum. And she's really had an opportunity to be sort of introduced to archival research, and to sort of go through the very beginning of a project and many rewrites along the way. And so this kind of experience really sets you up very well for graduate school, and it's actually, she just got into a really prestigious graduate program, I think in part by having sort of this opportunity already as an undergraduate to do this kind of work. So we're very proud of our students. This is typically 6 credits that's divided between 2 semesters. And finally, it culminates in graduating from UVM as an honors college scholar. So we're going to hand things over to students now, so you have an opportunity to hear about their own experiences. And I'll be available at the end of the program this evening to answer questions. But I did also want to share my email with you. If you have any questions that are not answered in the event itself, please feel free to send me a personal email, and I'll get back to you right away about it. Thanks so much.
Thank you to Dr. Grimmer for that incredible overview. Now, we feel that really one of the best ways to learn about the UVM experience and the Honors College experience is to hear from current UVM students. So with that in mind, we've invited 3 students to come and share their experiences with you. So at this time, I'd like each of them to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Jasper Burak. I use he, him pronouns. I'm from Boulder, Colorado. I'm currently undecided major-wise, so I'm still exploring what I want to do. On campus, I'm involved in intramural sports. I'm a member of the kayak club, the ski and snowboard club, and the outing club. And these days, you can find me on the outdoor rink playing a lot of pickup hockey.
Hi everyone, my name is Ann Wong. I use she, her pronouns, and I am from South Burlington, Vermont, so right down the road from campus. Outside of the classroom, I'm involved in research at the medical center with the medical school. I'm involved in a village mentoring program called DREAM. I'm in the ski and snowboard club, so you'll always find me out on the slopes. And then I'm also a chair of a committee on the Student Government Association.
Hi everybody, my name is Garrett Higgins and I'm originally from Gorham, Maine. I'm a junior here at UVM studying environmental science in the Rubenstein School for Environment and Natural Resources. I also have 2 minors, one in wildlife biology and another in community and international development. A couple things I like to do on campus include playing soccer with the men's club soccer team, playing the alto saxophone in the pep band, and I'm also a part of the science literacy initiative where a group of UVM students goes down to a local after-school program and we teach middle schoolers some science experiments.
Great. So thanks to each of you for introducing yourselves. So this is the time for you at home to send in your questions in the chat function, and we'll have our students answer them. To kick us off, we have a few questions we often hear from students and their parents about the Honors College experience. So starting with Jasper. Jasper, can you tell us a little bit about your experiences in those Honors College seminar classes?
For sure. So I'm a sophomore, so I've got 3 under my belt, but the first year seminar classes are the first ones you'll have, first contact you'll have with the Honors College. So those, Professor Grimmer touched on it a little bit earlier, but they're seminar, discussion-based, intensive writing-based courses that cover a wide range of topics. And for me, it was a great way to sort of acclimate myself to college reading, college writing, and it really helped me foster a community within the Honors College itself, because you're with a bunch of kids on my floor, were in my class, and it really helped us build a little bit of a community with each other. We could talk about work, help collaborate on projects and things like that. And the biggest thing for me is that it helped me understand the type of reading I'd be doing. It helped hone my writing skills for that class and other classes. And it was a great way to kick off a seminar discussion-based curriculum.
And Anne, between your Honors College work, the classes that are required for your major, and all of your many on-campus involvements, how do you find the time to manage all of that?
That is such a great question. When I think about this question, I kind of think about it in three different parts and how I came to kind of be able to balance everything that I'm involved in with school. I forgot to mention earlier, I'm also a biology major, gender studies minor, like on the pre-med track. So I usually have a pretty full schedule. And the first thing that I learned coming into the Honors College is to really use the support systems that are there for you. That was something that I realized really early on, that the Honors College is always there to help support you through your academic career. That being in that you have an Honors College advisor, so mine's Scott Clark, and then you also have a major advisor. And so not being afraid to ask for help and to say, hey, I'm a little overwhelmed. Can we look at my schedule together and just see, what is my 4-year plan? What can I do this? What can I move around this semester to help lighten my load, but still not have me behind? And that was a really difficult conversation I had to have actually my second semester of last year. I had never dropped a course before. I was convinced that I was going to be a minor in Spanish. That was what I came into college thinking I was going to do. And I was in that Spanish class, and I just realized it was way too much for me to keep up with taking a college level Spanish class on top of all my STEM requirements and my additional extracurriculars, doing research with the medical center. It was just too much. And so I went to Scott, who's the HCOL advisor, and then also my major advisor, and they were really able to tell me, you know what, it's not the end of the world if you drop this Spanish class. You can take it later, you can go abroad and take it. And that was something that I needed to hear from someone else, because I wasn't going to make that decision on my own. I was just going to suffer through it, which would not have been healthy. So really taking advantage of all of the support systems that the Honors College has, the study groups, the study sessions, the social times, to be able to support you through your academics, and being okay with saying, okay, my plate is too full, I need to take a step back, is really, really helpful. And then actually dropping that Spanish class, I then ended up taking my Honors College class in gender studies, and I loved it so much that I am now a gender studies minor. So if I hadn't have done that, I think I probably would have been set in minoring in Spanish and then not discovered my love for gender studies through the Honors College. So I think just, being okay with saying that you have too much on your plate, really taking advantage of the support system that the Honors College has for you, on top of cultivating meaningful relationships with your professors, so you can feel comfortable saying, you know what, Kate, I had a really tough week. Can I have an extension on this essay? I've done that before from personal experience. It just makes your life a lot easier to have meaningful relationships with those professors as well. So it doesn't feel like it's additional to your plate, like you actually have fun writing the essay that you have to write. So between those three pieces of advice, I really have found that balancing my social and extracurricular and academic life here within the Honors College has been really, really easy.
Thanks, Anne. So Garrett, as the junior in the group and beginning this process of designing your thesis and putting together research in order to receive your honors degree in essentially a little bit over a year, can you tell us a little bit about your thesis and how you've been supported through this process by the Honors College?
Of course, yeah. So I'm looking at studying and researching the effects of elevation on montane bird species responses to climate change. So I'm right in the beginning stages of doing this kind of second semester junior year, and I'm realizing that the Honors College has really set me up for success so far in doing everything that I have to do to get ready for writing this report at the end. And I found that the first thesis prep course class came in really handy for me. It taught me a lot of different research methods, as well as different tips and tricks for finding research to use and for the actual writing of a kind of research paper like this. So a couple of the other supports that the Honors College provides is using your faculty advisors. So every student who does a thesis has to have a 1, 2, or 3 advisors who are they'll be experts in the field that you're studying. So my advisors have been super helpful in looking at some of the nitpicky things going on with my research and what I might have to do moving forward, setting goals for myself. So they've really helped out holistically in my approach to writing my thesis. And I want to mention that Professor Grimmer mentioned this as well, that you don't have to write a kind of scientific report as the final product of your thesis. I actually have a friend who is looking at phenology, which is the changing of the seasons. And they're actually kind of putting together a montage of pictures and sound bites of areas from different seasons. And I think this is going to be a really great product at the end of their thesis. So altogether, Honors College does a really great job kind of preparing you as you move forward for writing your thesis. And it's a really great experience that I've found so far. It's kind of your own little baby as you're starting to move forward with this process. It's your responsibility, and you're kind of the one who makes it grow and change. So I've really enjoyed this process so far, and I'm looking forward to kind of continuing my senior year where I'll take the 6 research credits, and I'll really start diving down into the nitty-gritty of writing the thesis.
Thank you for that, Garrett. So now we'll turn to the questions that we're seeing come up in the chat function here. When you came into the University of Vermont, Jasper, you were an undecided student. Can you talk about the advising that you received and how it's helped you to pick your classes and maybe do some career and major exploration too?
I love talking about being undeclared. I have been undeclared my entire time. I'm a strong proponent of being undeclared. And partially that's because I get to explore so many different options without the structure of a major. And it also has shown me a lot of support systems I might not have seen otherwise. So I've got advisors all over the place. Ann has Scott as an advisor. I also have him. I've got a College of Arts and Sciences advisor. I've also got an undeclared advisor. And then I pick up a couple faculty members here and there when I need specific advice based on their classes. So there's a lot of support everywhere for me to sort of help get my gen ed requirements out of the way and make sure I'm purposeful in my exploration. And recently I've been talking a little bit about the options of maybe creating my own major or sort of a double majoring and sort of managing those logistics. And the variety of advisors that I have access to with the Honors College and within UVM as a whole have been invaluable to helping me explore and helping me narrow down where I want to focus my studies in the remainder of my time here at UVM.
Awesome. So Ann, we have a question about making the choice to attend UVM and be part of the Honors College. So how did you make that decision when it came time to choose what college you wanted to attend, what university you wanted to attend, when you may have had a lot of options at the end of your senior year of high school?
Yeah, I think that, I'll touch on this later as I talk about why I chose UVM, but coming to the university and coming to the admitted students days for the Honors College and attending sessions like this where I got to hear from the Honors College students and hear about what classes they're taking and what support systems they have and what great community they had, I really realized that this was just like the perfect place for me in that it's a mid-sized university, about 10,000 undergrads, but then within that, I was in the larger College of Arts and Sciences, and then I have another small knit community of the Honors College. So I really was able to make a larger university feel smaller to me, which was something that I was looking for, not to say that You can also, go outside of the Honors College and meet other people in your other classes and in the dining halls and through other modes. But it was a really big appeal to me of the tight-knit community that I was able to feel from the Honors College and just all of the support and care that all the faculty and staff really have for their students to have that academic success. And not going to lie, my Honors College classes have been my favorite classes that I've taken in any of my semesters. I love bio and chem, don't get me wrong, but I've taken disability and media representation. Right now I'm in a fairy tale class where I literally just had to read Little Red Riding Hood for my homework, and now we get to discuss like the true meaning behind Little Red Riding Hood. And then I found my minor from my HCUL class. So I also think that the academics and then being able to do a thesis and have that experience in research were really big major appeals for me.
Great, thanks so much, Anne, for that wonderful answer about chemistry and Little Red Riding Hood. I think you're hitting on a number of different topics, which is important for an event like this. This is a question here for Garrett. Does it feel different to be an honors college student as opposed to a regular UVM student?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. And I think I maybe thought about this a little bit coming into the Honors College, but I think Anne touched on this a little bit. You really are part of the larger university as a whole, and you find community in a lot of different places. So Honors College is one of those places that you find community. And it doesn't exclude you from any other groups on campus. It really just adds to the people that you interact with and adds to who you see around you every day. So some people find their community through clubs. Other people find it through just different friends in the dining hall, through their classes, etc. And Honors College is a really great way to meet people who are driven, who are taking some of those similar first-year classes as you. And the Honors College also offers the opportunity to take part in different community-building activities. The RAs do a really good job, and the community as a whole. One quick example for you guys. I think it was Tuesdays, we would go down and into the kitchen and see one of the professors cooking up either mac and cheese or a batch of cookies, and everybody would just kind of congregate down there. Obviously, we can't do that now, which is too bad, but would congregate down there, socialize, and have some really good food. So that's just one example of the ways that the Honors College can be a community that's in addition to everything else that you're doing on campus, not a part of.
I think that's such an important message too, Garrett, that students in the Honors College aren't isolated from everyone else on campus, that these communities do blend in across the entire UVM population, and that our students do feel like they have a place here at the University of Vermont. So you have all touched upon this to a certain degree, how being in the Honors College, you're involved also in your major courses, you're involved in the Honors College courses, you're involved in a number of extracurricular activities. Jasper, can you tell us a little bit about how you're encouraged to have a unique and diverse experience as an Honors College student?
Yeah, so that the unique and diverse aspects of your education and of your time here at UVM come from so many places, and the Honors College is a great model for it on a little bit of a smaller scale, and I would say that the various choices in seminars are a great way to explore that. For example, one of my first year seminars was called Animals in Islamic Tradition, and that we talked a lot about food ethics, halal slaughter, and things like that, and it really opened my mind to diversity in the greater world around me and inspired a track in my academic pursuits of exploring ethics and religion and things like that. So the Honors College opened my horizons academically in that sense, but also the community that it fosters with the different people has provided me with a number of different activities. I am in the kayak club with a bunch of my friends from the Honors College that then sort of is an extension of my community here in the Honors College. And it really gives you a home base to sort of branch out in clubs, in academics, in your outdoor activities and things like that. So it does a great job providing you a foundation for further exploration.
We have a question in the chat about study abroad. So Anne, can you tell us a little bit about whether that's possible for honors college students? Is it encouraged? Do a lot of students do it, studying abroad as an honors college student?
This is actually such a great question because my best friend and I just were talking about study abroad, and she actually just submitted. Oh, she's also in the honors college, to preface that. But she actually just submitted her application to go study abroad in Spain for next semester. And she said, she was able to talk to the honors college advisor to make sure that all the credits would transfer and that it would work smoothly with this course of study that she wanted to do. And then there was also an advisor kind of with the department for study abroad. So she was really able to feel confident in her decision about going and making sure that everything would transfer and that it would be an easy process. So all that said, study abroad, I'm not sure exactly what the statistics are within the honors college compared to the overall university, but it is definitely not something that's out of the cards for you. Even with our most structured majors like nursing, there's still an opportunity for them to go to Australia and do their clinicals there. So there's really an option for any major, any course of study, anywhere in the world to be able to go abroad. For example, for me, I'm thinking about going abroad this summer of my junior year, or doing like a mini-mester in the winter of next year. So there's a lot of really great opportunities for all courses of study all over the world, any time of the year. It's really low barrier. If it's something that you want to do, it's something that you can definitely do.
Great. This is a question for you, Garrett. Do you feel academically challenged by the courses in the honors college? We get this question a lot of what exactly are these classes like that our students would be taking as they come in?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I think I was definitely challenged academically coming in my first semester. It kind of gave me a little bit of a wake-up call coming into college. I was like, okay, yeah, I have to do some work here. And that being said, I didn't find it overwhelming. It was a good balance between kind of the rigor of, having some daily readings, that kind of thing, some writings at the end of the week. And as a couple of people mentioned, these beginning seminars, the first one is really focused on that writing piece and kind of writing intensive. So there is some rigor there, but that being said, I did not find it overwhelming, and I ended up, this doesn't sound totally truthful, but I promise it is. I actually liked that rigor at the beginning, and it really kind of gave me a little bit of a basis to stand on for moving forward in my college career to know what academics in a college setting might look like.
Thanks, Garrett. And Gary, earlier you touched upon your research that you'll be really engaging in over the next year or so. Jasper, can you talk about research opportunities that are available to students who might not just be seniors, students who are first years, sophomores, juniors?
Yeah, so research is an opportunity for anybody here at UVM. You can get involved with it right away. And something that I didn't necessarily understand when I was touring, and even as I entered my first year, is that research can look different for a variety of different people, and it doesn't just have to be in sort of a lab-based setting. And so a great way to do it is to get involved with faculty members and ask what they're working on, and that could be something like a religion thing. I have a professor right now who just really is working on releasing a paper about race-based hiring, not race-based hiring, but race in hiring practices in universities and how religion professors are viewed through the hiring process. So that's sort of cutting edge work in more of a humanities setting. And then I have a friend who is working in a more traditional, maybe something that you would picture with lab rats, and she's a neuroscience major and is looking at the way that they move around mazes and things like that. So there's a great diversity of research opportunities concept-wise, and then you can also get involved with it at any stage in your UVM career.
Wonderful, and thank you, Jasper. So Anne, when you're thinking about something that you've gained from being in the honors college during this nearly 3 years that you've been in, what comes to mind?
I think that is a really great question. And And kind of whenever I'm talking to any friends from high school where they're like, oh, I got into the honors college, should I come? And my answer is always immediately yes. And when I say that yes, two things really come to mind. One being the community, and the second being the academics. And when I talk about the community, I've gained some of my closest friends through being in the honors college. Sitting next to someone random in my gender studies class with the honors college is now one of my best friends, just through our shared experience of, doing the readings together and studying together and looking over our essays together. And so kind of through my experience here at the honors college, I've come to a newfound appreciation for what a community looks like and what it really means to be living amongst, the people that you're also learning with and in the same classes with. And then also academically, I've just gained like so much knowledge about really, really interesting to me facts about, like I was saying earlier, fairy tales or disability studies or gender studies. And so I really have found myself in conversations with my friends, or even my family at the dinner table, bringing up little facts that I learned about in my honors college classes. And I just find that that makes me so much more of a well-rounded individual and someone where I'm able to then draw those connections into other classes that I'm taking. And it really makes me feel like I'm getting the most out of my education here because, it's one thing to write an essay and get an A on it and say, okay, that was cool, but what's the point? I can start to see that point when I'm in a conversation with my parents at the dinner table and I'm recalling information that I'm learning in these honors college classes, and I'm genuinely excited to share this information with other people and with my friends and really see what I'm learning in those classes start to show up in my daily life and how I act towards other people and how I am on social media and how I look at gender and, kind of just like everything. So I say that's a pretty long-winded answer, but just get really excited. But yeah, I feel like I've just gained community and a lot of knowledge from the Honors College.
Wonderful. Thank you. And we hear this question a lot about the university at large is it just one type of person that's successful in the university? Is there like a prototype or a paradigm of a UVM student who's going to always be successful? And I always say that anybody can come to UVM and be successful, that we have 10,000 different undergraduate students, so that's 10,000 different types of people who come here. Garrett, can you talk a little bit about how that shows up in the community in the Honors College?
Yeah, I think that the Honors College kind of represents a microcosm of the university as a whole. I think that you see this in a lot of those seminar classes and just walking up and down your hallway in the dorms. You can find people who are majoring in a wide variety of things from all over the university. This is a really, really pretty amazing experience where you are in the same place doing a similar thing as all these people. You're around the same ages and you're all here to learn and to study, but you're all doing it in really diverse ways, and you are all really diverse people who have different values and that kind of thing. So I think that the Honors College just kind of is an example of the university as a whole, where everyone that is around you is passionate about something, but that thing can be really different. Some of my best friends I met from the Honors College, and we all keep in touch throughout our daily lives. And one of them is, a chemical engineer. Another one is studying in the humanities. I'm an environmental science major. So it's really pretty cool to see all of these diversity of experiences that can come together. You can play off of these and learn more from each other in that way.
Wonderful. So as we come to the end of our student portion of the Q&A tonight, I want each of you to think about your time back as seniors in high school and think about what that process was like for you and how you decided to come to UVM. And now that you're here, think about those experiences as well. But ultimately, why should those students who've been admitted, who are on this call right now, choose to come to UVM? Let's start with Jasper.
My college admissions process was, as I'm sure many of yours was, pretty terrible. It was a lot of work, a lot of stress, added on to stress in high school as well. And to add on to that, I'm a pretty indecisive person. I was telling Jay earlier, I had a very hard time deciding what pair of pants to put on this morning. So then to decide where I was going to college was huge. And then another factor into that was both of my parents went to Ivy League schools. There was a lot of self-imposed pressure and just general expectation in my household that I was going to do well in school. And that translated to high school, and it translated into my college application. So then with the stress of denials and with the stress of college applications, that whole thing hit me pretty hard, and coupled with my indecisiveness, that whole decision came down to the wire between a couple different schools, UVM and another one all the way on the West Coast. So I was kind of stretched out between these two schools, and I didn't want to decide at all. And so I kind of last minute put my deposit down for UVM, showed up for a Bennett Students' Day, and that was really when I started to kind of pick my head up and realized that I was in a beautiful place. Everybody I was talking to was very driven, engaged, excited about what they were doing, and very smart. And I sort of woke up a little bit and realized that this was a great place for me to spend my next 4 years, a great place for me to educate myself. And most importantly, it was a great place where I could be happy. And for me, as my UVM journey has evolved, it has really been about engagement and happiness. And I don't think I would have found that at any other school.
I love answering this question because growing up in Vermont, in South Burlington, 5 miles from campus, I kind of did everything in my power not to come to UVM. When my parents were like, why don't you go on a tour and check it out and, see what's up with UVM, I kind of was like, absolutely not. I'm looking anywhere else. I'm going to apply to any other school but UVM. And then as I was going through the college search process and I was going on tours and reading about the other schools, I realized more and more that I was thinking, oh, but UVM has this. Oh, but UVM has Lake Champlain and downtown Burlington right there. But UVM has the medical center basically attached to the university. So if I wanted to do research, that would be really easy to get involved in. Oh, but I could go to the honors college at the university and feel that tight-knit community. And so as I was going through this process, I realized more and more that, what a special town, college town Burlington is. And I could really picture myself as a college student at UVM within Burlington. And it's different being a high school student in Vermont than it is to be a college student. And I think I just didn't realize that before I was really, coming down to making my decision. And, coming here has been the best decision I could have ever made. And I think that it kind of speaks volumes coming from someone who did everything in their power not to come to UVM and then loved it, and then came to UVM and then loved it so much that they now want to convince all of you to come to UVM, that it really speaks volumes to how great the community is, the academics are, the social life is, the location of being so close to the mountains and everything. It kind of checked off all the boxes that I was looking for in a school. When I was looking at other places, they just didn't have the special charm that UVM did.
When I was going through the college search process, I was really looking for a couple big things, and UVM rose to the top pretty quickly as I was looking for a school with a really good environmental science program, and the Rubenstein School is really one of the best in the country, and this was a big reason why I was looking towards UVM initially. But then I also realized that it's a really great size. It's big enough where it has the resources and a lot of people, a lot of going on. There's tons of experiences that you can take part in. It also is not so big that you're kind of washed away as like a number. UVM does a really great job of keeping track of everybody and of making you feel like an individual in the greater university. As I was looking through the process, I also realized that I felt like UVM was a great distance away from home for me. I'm originally from the Northeast, so my drive is about 3-4 hours, and I felt this was a good distance for me. But the thing that really pushed it over the edge for me to really say, yes, UVM is the school for me, was when I came to visit campus. And I know that you all likely haven't had the chance to visit campus, but if you had the chance, or if you do get the chance, I think you'll really see the passion that everybody brings to the table. And when I toured the campus, I could see this just in everybody walking around on the paths and all the students and the faculty that I met. Everybody here at UVM is really excited and passionate about what they're doing. It could be any number of things, could be anything. But everybody who's here, they love what they're doing, and they do it with a fervor that's really impressive, and I want to be a part of that. So that's why I'm here at UVM.
I want to thank all the students for providing a little insight to their experience in the Honors College here at the University of Vermont. I hope that you found it informative and it helps you when it comes time for you to make your decision. We now have the opportunity to ask a couple of questions of Dr. Grimmer about the Honors College. We'll first start with some composition questions. Dr. Grimmer, can you tell us how many students are in the Honors College, maybe what the size of the classes, and maybe how many students come in their sophomore year to the Honors College?
Yeah, thank you for the question. In an average year, we have around 260 students who join the Honors College as first-year students. We also have a pathway into the Honors College as sophomores. So typically, another 100 or so students who are really outstanding, although they were not invited in the first year. Students who've really proven themselves to be exceptional are also invited into the Honors College in the sophomore year. In general, we have about maybe 850, 900 students. So it's a substantial portion of the university, approximately a tenth of the university, but small enough to be a nice community as well.
Great. So in thinking, we heard the students talk about how important these experiences are with the professors in these seminar classes, the professors in their involvement with the advising and some of our professional advisors too. Can you talk about from the faculty side how those relationships are important to your work as well?
Yeah, I think it's always really inspiring to work with students. I think the opportunities that exist in a seminar-style class really, I think the faculty learn just as much from the students in the conversations that we have as well. For some professors who are engaged in research projects, often the connections that they make with students in the Honors College also sort of, when the faculty at UVM think about who do they want to bring into their lab or work with them on a project, it's often the students they meet in the Honors College who have those opportunities as well.
Wonderful. And we have a question here about the housing for Honors College students. So do all Honors College students live in U Heights North, which is where the Honors College is based, or we have students who live outside of that residential learning community as well?
Yeah, the vast majority of students do live in University Heights, at least for the first 2 years. If students have a very strong preference to not live in University Heights, if they want to live in the wellness community, or if they're an athlete and want to live in a dorm with other members of their team, we do allow for exceptions. But we find that the residential experience is very important. The idea of really creating a living and learning community is very valuable. By the junior year, many students tend to move off campus. It's sort of the culture of the university and the town itself, and they find housing with their friends and share apartments or houses.
We talked about students who join the Honors College their sophomore year. We often get questions from students who've been invited in, how difficult it is to stay in the Honors College. Can you talk a little bit about how difficult it is to stay and maybe some safeguards that are in place for students to stay in the Honors College?
Sure, thank you for that question. We're not an institution that is aimed at weeding students out. Rather, really the opposite. We're really interested in surrounding students with all kinds of supports and trying to figure out with them what really allows them to thrive. So we do have grade point average standards and benchmarks. But if students don't meet those in a semester or initially, we encourage them with a process of enhanced academic advising to help them figure out better things. Or sometimes students find themselves just in the wrong major. They find chemistry really, really challenging, but are doing wonderfully in their literature class. And sometimes that warrants a conversation about, maybe is this the thing that you would rather be doing or something like that. But we really do very much aim to support students as much as possible throughout the process.
So in closing with the Q&A, I think it's only fair as I ask the students this question. So why should the students at home choose UVM?
You know, in many ways, I think about the Honors College as sort of bringing the best of both worlds. So one very attractive option for college is a small liberal arts college. I live down in Middlebury, and my wife teaches at the college there. And there's a certain appeal to a small college like that. At the same time, that can feel very small and very isolated in terms of it being a small community. And on the other hand, large research universities have all kinds of opportunities that small liberal arts colleges simply don't have. We're attached to a college of medicine, for example. And in a lot of ways, I think the Honors College brings the best of both worlds together. So in some ways, we like to think of ourselves as being a little bit like a small liberal arts college that's nestled within a larger research university.
I want to thank Dr. Grimmer. I want to thank our students. I want to thank our event staff for putting on this event. I hope all of you at home learned a lot about what the Honors College has to offer, what the experiences could be like for you in the Honors College. So moving forward, if you're looking for ways to connect with the Honors College or learn more about UVM or ultimately accept your invitation into the Honors College, you can visit us at go.uvm.edu/hcall2025. You can also follow us on Instagram or YouTube. You can actually check out Jasper's amazing dorm room tour on YouTube. Great stuff. Also, you can follow us on Instagram at UVM Honors College, or like Honors College on Facebook. And you can also add us to your contacts at honors.college@uvm.edu to direct emails to us. Please know that if you have any questions, any concerns, that the Honors College staff, our admissions staff, the university at large is here to help guide you through this process and answer any questions you may have. We fully understand that the college search process, in the best of times, can be incredibly stressful and overwhelming. And with that in mind, we're here to help you in any way that we possibly can. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.